good morning. Welcome to FRC Media. Keith Tebow joining you as we do every Wednesday. It's the second week of January. Time for our weekly visit with the mayor of the city of Fall River, Mayor Paul Coogan. Mayor, how are you today?
Doing great, Keith. How about you?
I'm doing well. I actually want to start with an event that you attended yesterday at UMass Dartmouth with the new administration of Governor Maura Healey and Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll. It was sort of a climate summit, if you will, at UMass Dartmouth. And I know you were part of that big roundtable discussion. What did you get out of that? And how can a city like Fall River play a role in climate change?
Obviously, there was a lot of discussion around wind energy, and I know that Fall River has a arrangement going on right now with Mayflower Wind. They're across the street from Government Center here in the old Travelers Building, and they are supposed to locate down at the Borden Remington for a 15-acre site, which again will bring us front and center into their acreage that they have, where they're going to build the wind turbines. We have the that wire cable company going in at the old Brayton Point. We have some people looking at some kind of environmental or climate-centered work up at the old Weaver's Cove. So Fall River should be right at the forefront of a number of these projects, and we're keeping our eye on all of this. We do have regular meetings. We're on the phone. I spoke with Bobby Bogan the other day about where we stand on these on his arrangements with Mayflower, and again, the climate summit was focused on the climate. What are we going to do? I obviously brought up solid waste, which I do believe impacts the climate. So, I mean, that was my issue, and we got to meet all the new secretaries. Obviously, Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, good friends, and we were already planning a trip for them to come down to Fall River. We want to come down and we want them to walk around and see these areas on their own so they know firsthand what we're talking about for development along the waterfront in Fall River, and hopefully they can continue the partnership we had with the former governor and lieutenant governor. I think it's going to be very strong. I like the fact that Kim Driscoll was a former mayor. She brought that up yesterday at the roundtable, and I think that those are the kind of like nuts and bolts people that get into government that know exactly how these things work. So I'm very, very encouraged. I thought the meeting was very positive yesterday, and I know going forward, and your school, obviously BCC, was mentioned a number of times because of their commitment to wind energy programs, which I think is going to benefit the whole South Coast.
Yeah. So obviously with the new administration, they've been in for 6 days.
Yeah.
I know they're still working things out, and I'm sure they'll come to Fall River at your invitation, as you mentioned, and then we'll find out more.
Very encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Something that I didn't have a chance to speak with you when it occurred, specifically about a month ago. The Fall River Pride Committee has worked with the Fall River Public Library for quite some time to host monthly drag story time events, which, is geared toward encouraging inclusion and openness in our society. Last month, actually it started in November, but it escalated last month. There was a number of neo-Nazi protesters outside the event, tried to disrupt the event. It did not succeed. They're planning another story time this Saturday at the Fall River Public Library. And I know they're concerned about potential reoccurrence of these protests. I know you're going to be speaking with them. How do you stand in terms of what the city can do to provide some support?
Well, the city's taking a very critical eye to look at how the safety and parking, how people enter and exit the library. We have to make sure the residents are safe. And it's a fun event for the kids that want to go to it. That's what we're looking for. We don't want any of that negativity. People obviously have the right to free speech, and they can assemble where they want as long as they're under control. But we're not going to have people getting in people's faces and confronting each other and, threatening each other. We don't need that in Fall River. We had a series of protests. I want to say it was 2 years ago now, and mostly all of them were peaceful. People made their point. I remember when we were out here at Government Center one day, and there was speaker after speaker advocating for their position, and some were very, very strong in how they did it and forceful, and that was fine. I had no problem with any of it. And an event like this, which is supposed to be a fun time for kids to get exposed to something different and hear a story, it turns into a negative operation when a bunch of people come, not from Fall River, too, by the way. They come from other areas just to come down and try to embarrass people or make people look bad for no good reason. Just, you know, leave us alone, go wherever else you want to go, and we'll be fine. We don't need you here. And, I hope they find something constructive to do to help different communities instead of coming down and being a negative force.
Yeah, are you expecting? I know you. As we spoke before, I believe you're meeting with the group today. Are you expecting that there'll be some police presence in the event that something may arise on Saturday?
Yeah, there will definitely be a police presence there. Again, we've been coordinating with the Pride people, making sure that we have an idea of what they're talking about, where they're going to go, and I hope we can put together a formalized finish putting together a formalized plan today, so everybody knows where people are and how it's going to go. Again, this could be much ado about nothing, or it could be
Mhm.
something bad, depending on what that group does. If they have somewhere else to go that day, or they decide to come back here, we'll see. I mean, we'll learn together, but we are definitely making the proper preparations with our police department in case there is something that goes sideways.
Yeah. The committee is planning a rally in support of the drag storytime events, I believe at 9 a.m. outside the library, with the storytime itself at 10:30 this Saturday downtown at the library. Something else that cropped up between Christmas and New Year was the announcement of former Mayor Sam Sutter making his intentions known, at least preliminarily, that he may be interested in running for mayor of city of Fall River again. You've made your interest known of running for a third term. Any comments on the former mayor running?
No, I mean, I had a couple of meetings with Sam. He obviously it's the same. People have a right to do whatever they want to do, and there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm just extremely confident in what's gone on in the city over the last 3 or 4 years. I know how hard people work on the sixth floor to improve the quality of life for people. I know what we've been done around the city. I know the relationships we've struck up with elected officials. I don't believe that any candidate would have those kind of things at their disposal to help the city of Fall River. And again, that's what this is about: trying to make Fall River a better place to live for everybody, whether it's economic development, whether it's our schools, whether it's public safety, whether it's infrastructure. Those are the things we work on every day, and we we put our nose to the grindstone and keep going. And again, whoever decides to come forward and run, welcome to the race, because one thing we do know how to do up here is campaign, and we know how to get our message out, and we have a track record of doing that, and we're going to keep doing it.
And as I've said many times, plenty of time to talk about the issues, and I'm sure we will as we head toward the fall, late summer, and fall. Finally, we've touched upon this next topic a few times, and every time we do, it tends to go awry in terms of, and I'll take credit for anything that may happen, but so far it's been a very mild winter here in Fall River. I believe we only had a small dusting of snow about a month ago or so, but we noticed that your office has put out a message seeking volunteers to help those who
Right.
may be homebound to shovel out in the event of a snowstorm. Is this something your office gets a lot of calls on when we do get snow, helping
Uh,
people get out of their homes?
it's funny. It's like, I think it's like I watched the local ski resorts, whether it's Yagu or Blue Hills, and they said that people don't go skiing unless they see snow out their window. In the local things, obviously the big resorts in the
Right.
north, whether it's Maine, New Hampshire, or Vermont, they still draw people because they have the snowmaking ability. I think people don't volunteer for snow removal unless they see snow. It's like we have a
Right.
few calls and a few people came in, but at the same time, it's nowhere what it was. And I obviously have no interest in any snow in the city of Fall River. I think it's just it's just another headache that you have to deal with on the job. But at the same time, we would like to see if there's some people that would be interested in, if we do have snow, that would come out and help our seniors get their car out, get their walkway cleared off so they can get out to the store or go visit someone. it's just a good community, a community taking pride in the community and some community spirit. I don't think anything's wrong with it. And contact the office if you're interested in helping. And guess what? I hope we never call you. That would be a good winter for me, Keith. And if you jinxed us, Keith, I know where your office is. So
Exactly.
we'll go awry again, and I'll be up there.
Send your
Wait for
cards and
you.
letters to me here at Bristol Community College, care of Fall River
Right.
Community Media. Mayor, is there like a number you're looking for in terms of volunteers, or do you know how many have volunteered in the past?
I don't think that, I think there's only a handful that called
Right.
this year, maybe five. Or I thought I heard 4 or 5, but in the past we've had, since I've been here, I think we had one winter, we had 15 or 20. And again, we have a couple of people that work with us to go out and try to get people out of their driveways. And depending on the severity of the storm, it seems like a lot more people contact us about pitching in. So like I said, I think we'll get some people that'll rise to the occasion. If we have some snow, but like I said, I hope they are never used.
Right. Absolutely. All right, Mayor Coogan, as always, thank you for your time. We'll talk again next week. Take care.
Okay, Keith, thanks.
All right. And thank you for joining us, as always, here in FRC Media. Have a great week.